everyone, I'm Natalie Kunsman, MD, and normally I'm talking about a health condition such that we can dive into the integrative approach to manage it. But today I'm actually talking about an up-and-comer concept in the treatment of migraines, and it is a big gun for when your migraines are refractory to treatment. And it is a concept that's actually more physiologic than some of the migraine medicines that have been out to the market for preventive purposes. And then, of course, we'll be talking about an abortive approach. So up until this point, a lot of the migraine preventive tactics have revolved around medications that came out to the FDA for other reasons. And to list a few, we had beta blockers, which came out for cardiac purposes. We had anti-seizure medications, which obviously came out for anti-seizure purposes. And then we had several of the anti-anxiety and antidepressants that came out to the market. And these approaches have been the mainstay for 30 to 40 years in the arm of migraine prevention. And of course, we're talking about medications today. Do not forget, there is a whole arena of integrative approaches to manage the migraine in the complementary, holistic, and trigger analysis as far as migraines are concerned. But today, again, we're talking about medications. There have been some newer approaches in the past 15 to 20 years working on the triptans to help abort a migraine phenomenon, and some of those are working quite nicely for some of you. And then there were a lot of the ergotamines and the anti-inflammatories and aspirin products that have been used for many years with only minimal results. So today we are talking about some of the monoclonal antibody products that have come out to the market, and these currently are used for prevention of migraines. And we have a few names currently. One is Aimovig, the other is Ajovy, and another is Emgality, and of course there's another one that's just about to be approved. So we have 4 of those. Now, the monoclonal antibody concept is a very large molecule that has been made to get to the receptor or the synapse site at the trigeminal and the nerve network that is in the brain system, and it goes after CGRP. Now, CGRP is a calcitonin gene-regulated peptide, so it has the nickname CGRP. Now, the monoclonal antibodies, 3 of the 4, will actually directly bind to that molecule and get in the way of that synapse so that the CGRP cannot get to the postsynaptic vesicle for it to do its work on the vasculature in the brain. And if we block that, we can block the migraine phenomenon. Now, one of the monoclonal antibodies, which is Aimovig, is actually, again, one of those very large molecules based at the receptor at the postsynaptic junction and binds the receptor. Now, since these molecules are big, they need to be injected. And we are talking about a preventive strategy, obviously, that is looking at an injection. And some of those are monthly, and some of those are quarterly. And this has actually been very targeted to the migraine phenomenon, since CGRP is in the throes and the physiology of what causes the migraine phenomenon. Now, I've had the pleasure to work with a group that is about to launch one of the first G-pants, and I'll explain what that is in a little bit, which is an oral, and it happens to be a disintegrating tablet that can actually abort the headache phenomenon. And again, it is working at the CGRP chemical and receptor in those brain synapses, again, as it relates to the transmission as it comes off of the trigeminal nerve for, again, the migraine prevention. Now, the triptans wound up working at the postsynapse, working at 3 different the serotonin receptors, and they actually found in studying CGRP that the triptans were actually quite effective at lowering the CGRP as well. But this is directly, these medications, G-pants, okay, these medications are very small molecule, and because they are small, they can be housed within a pill formulation, and they are also designed at blocking the receptor postsynaptically such that there is no release of the cascade of events that happens in the migraine phenomenon. So these G-pants, which is their chemical name, and there are 2 that are coming to the market very shortly, and I had the pleasure to work with a working group related to the sublingual version that is in its last phases with Biohaven, and I have discussed with their neurologists and their marketing people exactly what a wonderful niche this will bring to the headache arena, because it is very specific and very physiologic for the migraine phenomenon. And again, they may get indication for cluster or maybe potentially protracted cluster headaches, but again, not all headaches. And that small molecule will bind to the receptor site in the throes and very early on in the migraine phenomenon. It can be taken within a half hour to an hour. It is quick acting and long sustaining and long acting, such that some of the migraineurs, and I in particular am one of them, we may be able to prevent the 2 and 3 day phenomenon and abort this from the beginning so that there are not so many migraine days per month. So there are a couple things. The pill versions are typically cleared through the liver, and there were some of these G-pants that were analyzed and taken on a consistent basis daily or 15 days per month to assess its safety and tolerability. And there was one a while ago where it was causing some liver-related issues. But Rimigepant, one of the newer ones that's going to be brought to the market, has a very good safety profile. So I will feel no harm in using this where the triptans or generic formulations or all else has failed in the past. To the monoclonal injected antibody prophylactic arm, these are not broken down by kidney and liver, so they have virtually no side effect profile to speak of. However, it is injectable, so you may wind up having some soreness at the injection site. And of course, there may be an expense associated with that. And we don't know how many of the commercial plans may be accepting these on their formulary. But all that being said, this is a whole new exciting world for migraine management with great efficacy, long-acting effects, very minimal side effect profile, and is a great arrow in the quiver. As a reminder, all prophylactic regimens were never designed to be headache medications because they haven't targeted the CGRP. This whole new class of medications does. There will be more information on the horizon, but I will be happy to entertain any questions you may have. And if you subscribe to my channel below, we can open up dialogue. And until we meet again, be well.